Sensation. Sensation. Sensation.
Well, hello everyone, and Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. I am your host, Anthony Gamer, and in today's episode, I am presenting to you, by request, games based on the anime Hetalia. Now, for those of you that may not be familiar with Hetalia, I'm going to give you a brief description of it via Wikipedia. Hetalia Axis Powers is a Japanese webcomic, later adapted as a manga and an anime series by Hidekazu Himurarua. I really know I'm butchering that, and I really apologize. The series' main presentation is as an often over-the-top allegory of political and historic events, as well as more general cultural comparisons. Characters are personifications of countries, regions such as Hong Kong, and micronations with little reference to other national personalities. Both positive and negative cultural stereotypes form part of each character's personalities. Okay, the character roster is large and far from complete, but the main cast is primarily the countries which made up the Axis and Allied powers of World War II, namely Italy, Northern Italy in particular, Germany, Japan, United States, United Kingdom, France, Russia, China, and Canada. Therefore, each country is actually represented by one person. The main story lines occur during World War II, but the vast majority of the comics take place during other historical events, modern holidays, or at no specific time whatsoever. The series often uses satire and light-hearted comedy to reinterpret well-known events, as well as common historical and cultural trivia. Historical, political, economic, and military interaction between countries is generally represented in Hetalia as social interactions and misunderstanding between the characters. So again, a very big thank you to Wikipedia for that. The anime has ran for 7 seasons, and the 7th season has just been wrapped up. So if you'd like to check out the anime yourself, you can do so on Funimation. It is available in Japanese with English subtitles or in English dub. So check the series out and let me know what you think of it. And with any great anime series, there are going to be games. And today we're going to talk about the 3 official games, and some unofficial fan-made games. So, without further ado, let's get into those games. And our first game for today is the Hetalia Horror Show. This was a mini-game that was released on November 27th, 2015. This game is a newer version of Scary Stories from a High School in the Country, concept by the creator himself. And in this game, 7 nations will gather at the International Scary Story Meeting. Do you want to come and listen to their stories? That is heard by Bulgaria. After reading the Eurozone newspapers about how Bulgaria and Romania are looked down because they belong to the EU, Bulgaria gathers up the courage to hear the scary stories of the 7 countries gathered that day. So, the characters that participate in this game are Bulgaria, Romania, America, England, Finland, Germany, Japan, Spain, and Russia. Now, in this game, it is kind of what you would call a, what is the word for it? It's kind of like a novel, almost like a game novel, and basically you make certain choices from the game that will help determine the outcome. Unfortunately, this, like some of the other games, have not yet been translated or patched into English. So if you are able to get the game to run, which you got to go through a little bit of trouble with your computer in order to do it, but it can be done. And if you don't speak Japanese, there are several sites out there that do give translations for the game. Overall, it's a really fun game and a really funny one, and one that you simply must check out. And next up, we have another mini game. This one is called Cleaning Prussia. Now, in this game, you take on the role of Prussia, and what you are doing is you are kind of bored, and so you reminisce about how old Fritz was around and he would always praise how I could do anything well. But now, whenever he tries to do something on his own, it never goes well. At one point, Prussia had tried to make a manga, but sneezed and got fed up with it and now only reads them. Prussia then remembers that he used to be a genius at cleaning and decides to tidy someone's house in order to be showered with gratitude. At this point, the player is given 5 options: Germany, Italy, Austria, Japan, and Sweden. Now, depending upon the order in which you clean and how much you clean will depend on the type of ending that you get to the game. Again, this is another one that unfortunately has not yet been patched into English, but the music is beautiful. The storyline is really funny, and again, you can find full translations of this game on several places and Hetalia fan pages around the internet. And the final official release is Gakuen Hetalia Portable. Now, this was released for the PSP and for the Nintendo DS around early 2011. Now, what this game is you take on the role of Seychelles, which is a island country off the coast of Africa, and you are a new student at World Academy W. As you notice, a lot of these games do take place as if they are students, just to let you know. And she winds up immediately involved in having to plan the school's annual party, in which the students deepen their cultural exchanges and understanding of each other. To be able to pull off a successful party, Seychelles must plan carefully and get to know her classmates better. This game is also a dating sim, as she makes choices on different countries that she'd like to date. Some of the characters in this game are Seychelles, of course, Italy, Germany, Japan, America, England, France, Russia, China, Austria, Hungary, Switzerland, Liechtenstein, Greece, Canada, and the unlockable character of Prussia. So, choices you make can determine how the story goes. And again, this one unfortunately has not yet received an English patch, according to an article I found on the Hetalia Wiki. At the moment, it is quite difficult, according to one person, to be able to patch in a PSP file, but let's hope sometime soon someone is able to do it. And again, you can go to several places online to find the full translation of this game, and I highly recommend it, as this game is a whole lot of fun and really hilarious. Alright, and now we're going to check out some fan-made games. Before we proceed, keep in mind that although most of the time, I would say like 99% of the time, Hetalia is very lighthearted, some of these fan-made games, particularly the RPG games, do tend to be a little on the dark side. So, just a quick warning, but let's go ahead and check out some of them. Alright, and our first game for today is called Academy Hetalia, Give Back Those Pants. You play as Hungary, searching around the school for Austria's missing underpants, and you find out a lot of other people are having pants-related trouble as well. A very lighthearted and funny game, really a lot of fun, and I'll tell you, it's one that you're really going to want to play to the end and find out exactly who took those pants and why. Alright, next we have World Academy Sim Date. You take on the role of a female country of your choice, and you are meeting some of the countries from around the world and trying to get a date with them. There's lots of cool interactions. You get to know each country a little bit better, and your ultimate goal is to find the love of your life among the various different countries. Of course, the characteristics from the anime are very prevalent here, and sometimes your choices can start arguments, fights, and you end up with nobody at all. But overall, it's a really fun game that you've simply got to try. Alright, now let's get into the darker Hetalia fan games. This one is called Heta Oni. It is a horror drama game which was made first by Tomoyoshi with RPG Maker XP. then programmed with RPG Maker VX by Piano Dream and Neo Kino to make it even more playable. The game is about the Axis powers and the Allies being trapped in a mansion. The legend says that this mansion is haunted. Now, the characters are being hunted by a monster. He's real scary. There's a lot of jump scares in this one. And the story behind it is Italy decided to visit a legendary haunted mansion with its friends Germany, Japan, and Prussia. After their arrival, they can hear a strange noise, and Japan goes having a look. After he comes back, his friends just disappeared, and he can't open the front door. He's all alone, imprisoned in the dark mansion. Will he be able to escape? Will he find his friends again? And what are the plans of the Allied forces? My daughter and I have been playing this game. We're not quite finished yet, but this is definitely a lot darker than most anything Hetalia related. But there's one that's even darker, and that will be next. And that is Insane Hetalia. In this one, a very dark and disturbing game. The characters are trying to solve the murder of Arthur, who is the name of England. His secretary was brutally murdered, and there's rumors that there are characters from an evil parallel universe at work here. The graphics are quite beautiful, very imaginative, very dark, full of jump scares and gore. Probably one that those of you that are used to the lightheartedness of Hetalia may want to skip, but if you're curious, the game itself is a whole lot of fun and one that will keep you on the edge of your seat from beginning to end. And the final game for today is called While England's Away. In this game, you take on the role of both America and Canada. At this point, they're still children and are the colonies, and they are being taken care of by England and France. England and France leave them alone in this big house, and it turns out that England is into some darker stuff than they might have thought, as there are monsters in the house, and somehow you've got to help America and Canada survive. This one is really full of some jump scares and split-second decisions you have to make, and that's something else. But like the other ones, it's a whole lot of fun. Don't forget that these games are available usually for free all over the internet. I will have a link in the description below to let you know where you can pick up some of these Hetalia games and others. In our next episode, we're going to have more Adver games. Well, that brings us to the end of another episode of Classic Gamer 74. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, let me know by smashing that like button. Subscribe if you haven't already, and don't forget to click that little bell icon down there so you'll be notified when I upload new episodes. Also, don't forget to visit me on my various social media platforms, as well as my blogspot and my Jeopardy games. The links are in the description below. Well, until next time, I'm Anthony Gamer, and I will see you in the next episode. Until then, be strong, be safe, be happy, be healthy, and above all, take care of each other, be kind to each other, and stop hate of all kinds. And have yourselves a great new year. See you soon. Bye.